What's first, Mr. Wisty?
People v. Jones.
All right. We're on the record in docket 22-02541. People of the state of Michigan versus Brittany S. Jones. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Ms. Jones.
And ma'am, you are Brittany Jones?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Wisty, this is time set for a final pretrial today. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, the people do not have their witness here this morning. For that reason, we'll be filing a dismissal without prejudice.
And Ms. Robinson, I'm assuming you have no objection.
No objection.
All right. Ms. Jones, this is time set for final pretrial. It appears the prosecutor is going to dismiss without prejudice. That means that if they get further new information, they may file, but for today's purposes, this file is dismissed, okay?
All righty, sir.
All right. Anything else for the record in docket 22-02541, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. That's all set.
Thank you. Just have this. Yep, just wait. I'm sure.
Yeah. You all want to?
No, she just needs to take it over to the 10.
May I approach, Your Honor?
You may. So we're on the record in docket 22-02393, zip 22-02394, and 22-02395. Will the parties, that's people of the state of Michigan versus Kayla Martin. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Ms. Martin.
And this is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, the people will be moving to dismiss. The defendant has provided proof of compliance to her attorney. And because these are tickets, I believe we dismiss on the record without the filing of an annulment.
And that's your understanding, Ms. Robinson?
It is.
All right, then on all these files, 22-2393, 94, 95, people move to dismiss without prejudice. That is granted. Anything else for the record, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
You can move people v. Montalvo.
All right. All right, we're on the record in docket 18-07061. That is People of the State of Michigan versus Fernando Montalvo. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Mr. Montalvo for today's hearing, and he is seated to my right.
Sir, you are Fernando Montalvo?
Yes.
Okay. This is the time set for a pretrial. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, we've reached an agreement where the defendant will plead guilty as charged. There's an agreement to kill a brew for fines and costs only.
Sutter, is that your understanding of the plea agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
May I inquire of your client of his advice and rights on the misdemeanor plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Montalvo, you understand that the possible penalty for animals abandoning cruelty is 93 days and or $1,000 or up to 200 hours of community service concerning this misdemeanor matter. Do you
No, I'm
understand?
not aware of that.
All right, that's the ultimate penalty that you could be facing is 93 days and or $1,000 or up to $200 of community service. There's an agreement between the lawyers here that you would do only fines and costs and no jail.
Right.
Correct? If I was not to follow that Killebrew agreement, you of course would have the opportunity to withdraw your plea. Do you understand that?
Right.
Okay. So is that your intention today, is to plead guilty and not go to trial?
Guilty and not to go to trial.
Okay, so if your plea is accepted, you will have the following rights and you'll waive them, okay? And so I'm gonna walk you through those rights, all right?
Mhm.
All right, you have the right to be tried by a jury. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to have witnesses against you appear at trial. You have the right to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty. You have the right to question the witnesses against you. You, of course, are represented by Public Defender Lauren Sutter. She would be here to contest any charges and cross-examining witnesses in your defense, okay? You have the right to have the court order any witnesses to appear for you in your defense. You have the right to remain silent during trial. You have the right to have that silence, not to have that silence used against you in a court of law. And you have the right to testify at trial if you choose to testify. Do you understand those trial rights?
Yes, I
sir?
do.
All right. If your plea is accepted, you'll give up the claim that the plea was a result of any promises or threats that it was not your choice to plead guilty, other than the plea agreement. Is
Right.
it your intention to plead guilty today, sir?
Yes,
You'd also be giving up any rights you have from a trial
yes.
in this matter. All
Mhm.
right, I'm gonna have a raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
All right, I'm gonna bring your attention back to April 4th of 2018 at 3102 Westmont Avenue, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan. Were you at Westmont Avenue on August 4th, 2018 in the city of Lansing?
Yes.
All right. And at that time in count one, explain to me how you failed to provide an animal with adequate care or abandon the animal.
Yes.
And tell me how that happened.
Well, we was in the process of moving from Westmont to another place.
Okay,
My grandson, who owned the dog, lived 2 houses down from us. He brought his dog over, and with us not knowing that the dog was in our vicinity, we left and cleared out the place. And next thing you know, I got stopped by the police and they took me to Mason County, and they said the charges were because of dog and dog cruelty and whatever. And I'm like, what is going on? And so that's where we're at now.
let Ms. Sutter ask you some questions.
So your grandson had brought the dog over to your house?
Yes.
For you and your family to watch?
No, he just brought him over because he was coming over, so he brought the dog.
And then you moved out of the house, closed up the house and left
Yes,
entirely
we
with the
was in the
dog?
process of moving.
And the dog was left inside when you left there?
Apparently so.
I don't know if the court is satisfied by that.
I'm not sure if that has the mens rea to commit the crime, Mr. Wisty. I'm not sure if the abandonment, it indicates did fail to provide an animal with adequate care. I don't think there's any reckless or negligence involved in,
No, I believe it wouldn't have mens rea in the statute, Your Honor.
Most of the animal charges are a strict liability in terms of,
I think that is enough. He would have had an animal in a house that he abandoned. I have- It's the elements of the statute.
all right, let me check real 1 minute here. Just to be sure. I was looking at the definitions for, and I don't see anything that would require a mens rea to commit the act. I also do find neglect as a part of this. So I find that the factual basis is met for the fail to provide an animal with adequate care or abandon an animal or cause an animal to be abandoned without making provisions. That's pursuant to 750.50 parents 4, parents A. Mr. Wisty, any comment on the factual basis for the record?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Sutter?
no, Your Honor.
And then we do have an agreement to immediate sentencing and fines and costs.
Yes, Your Honor.
Correct.
The court will order. So I can order up to $1,000 fines and costs in this manner. I'm going to order $100 fines and $100 costs for a total of $200. Sir, do you need some time to pay that?
To
Oh, and I need to
December,
order the crime victims' rights of $75 is required, so it'll be $275. Do you need some time to pay that?
December 3rd would be great.
All right, let's do,
That's
I'll
a
order,
Saturday, Your Honor, maybe the 5th was as a
Fifth.
Monday.
thank you. So we'll say, is that the total amount then, sir?
Yes,
All right.
total amount.
So total amount of $275 will be paid on December 5th to the city of Lansing by 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Anything else for the record in docket 18-07061? Mr. Wisty,
Nothing from the.
anything else, Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you're all set, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Judge.
Sir, on the cell phone K51, can you identify yourself?
You talking to me?
Yes, I'm talking to you, sir.
Bryant McCormick.
All right, Mr. McCormick, you're here for your 9 o'clock today?
Yes.
All right. You're in the right place. We'll have you stand by for your public defender, either Lauren Sutter or Aaron Robinson, okay?
My case, Your Honor. I'll jump
All right.
on Zoom.
All right, Mr. McCormick, I'm going to put you in a breakout room with your public defender, Ms. Robinson, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, we're on the record in docket 22-02638. People of the state of Michigan versus Bryant McCormick. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Karen Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. McCormick.
And sir, you are Bryant McCormick?
Yes, I'm Bryant McCormick.
Okay, and you can hear me all right, Mr. McCormick?
Yes.
All right. This is the time set for a pretrial. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding today?
Like this set for a final pretrial, Your Honor.
We'll take a final pretrial and jury trial date,
The final pretrial will be November 7th at 8:30,
November 7th,
with the jury trial on November 28th at 8.
8:30 for final pretrial, and November 27th, did you say? 28th
At 8.
at 8. So we have two dates here. We'll set it for final pretrial on November 7th at 8:30 for final pretrial, and November 28th at 8 o'clock for jury trial. Mr. Wisty, the final pretrial is to be in person for all parties.
Yes, Your Honor.
So the final pretrial date will be in person for all parties.
It's just for clarification, Your Honor, would that be the victims can still appear by Zoom, or is that?
The victim can appear by Zoom in order to make it, to have an understanding that the case will move forward.
But Your Honor, why can't my client appear in person? I guess I'm not seeing that there should be a difference.
I'm a little reluctant to have both the victim and the defendant appear at final pretrial together.
Well, like they could both appear over Zoom.
They can, well, I don't have a problem with both of them appearing over Zoom. I just don't want them in the same place prior to the.
Sure, it's just a lot easier for clients to appear over Zoom because.
Mr. McCormick, is it easier for you to appear by Zoom on that day, on the day in question?
Yes, yes, sir.
All right, so I don't have any problem with you appearing by Zoom
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
for your final pretrial. The jury trial, of course, would be in person, okay, sir?
Okay.
All right, so November 7th at 8:30, final pretrial, and then November 28th at 8 jury trial. Anything else for the record, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor, thank
All
you.
right, that's all for the record on this file.
Call people be Harris, Your Honor.
And Mr. McCormick, you're free to leave, okay?
Okay. Have a good day.
All right, thank you, sir. Say it again, Mr. Wisty?
We can call Miss Harris.
Okay.
And just make sure there's not a Leia Fox in the Zoom room, is there?
No, not right now. I have Miss Fox in pink. What does that mean?
I want to get confirmation.
Well, We're on the record in docket 22-01609. That's people, the state of Michigan versus Nikita Denise Harris. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
And ma'am, you are Nikita Harris?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Wisty, this is time set for a pretrial in the matter. This is a deferred sentencing.
Your Honor, what the people would request is this be set for another review in approximately 2 weeks. What's going on is Ms. Harris has provided paperwork that she's paid to the court. The restitution was agreed upon. It was done on the 18th. I spoke to the victims on Friday. They had not yet received it. I would like to confirm that the victims have the money in hand before I file the dismissal. I suspect I will file it in advance of the review date of 2 weeks.
All right, but so what we'll do is we'll adjourn for 2 weeks. And then if it comes up beforehand that you receive information, just let the court know. But we'll adjourn for 2 weeks in regards to confirming payment.
I think what's
What's
going
that?
on is you paid them, first, just gotta get the money. And I want to see that happen before I dismiss.
It has to go, once we receive it.
So if I get
Just
I'll just file the dismissal.
then make it mail, assuming we have.
Okay, but
Yeah. So you're all good there. So I think what happens, they pay for it. I just gotta send a check. I just want that to physically happen.
I mean, I'll schedule the meeting. like,
Yeah. but as long as we receive,
We received the money. It's
Yeah.
just getting it to. you.
we're just trying to figure out the
You can
process.
Confirm the court's received the money.
What's that?
You're able to confirm the court's received the
Oh,
money.
yeah, the
Good,
court
yeah.
received it.
I guess in that case, then I would.
The court did receive the money?
Oh, yes. She's paid off her entire rent.
Then I guess in that case, the people would move to dismiss.
All right, that's all that's all, is that as long as we can confirm that the court received the money, the process of the victim getting paid may be out 2 to 3 weeks because they only cut checks at certain times, but the court has received the money.
In that case, then I would move to dismiss at this time.
All right. So I'm gonna say that we were able to confirm court received the money. Restitution's been paid. In cases that Kate and the people move to dismiss. And then the victims will get the money probably in the next 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, once the court goes through the administrative process and then cuts the check.
Sounds good, Your Honor.
All right. So pursuant to the people's motion to dismiss, the case is dismissed with restitution complied with. Anything else on the record in 22-01609?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Harris? Any questions of me? All right, you're all set, ma'am. Thank you.
Please resolve. May I approach, Your Honor? Wisty on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Ms. Fox, who I do not believe is present.
This is set for pretrial today. And note, there is a pending warrant out for Ms. Fox on another case. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, the people would request a bench warrant without the 48 hours. This is an assaultive crime also. She hasn't been picked up on the other one. She's passed her 48 hours on that one.
Any comment, Ms. Sutter?
Your Honor, I would just note that this is her first failure to appear in this file. I do understand that she has a failure to appear in another file, but I would ask, understanding that there is a prior failure to appear in another case, and this is an assaultive case, I would still ask that a 48-hour hold be issued on any warrant.
Or it appears Ms. Fox has failed to appear. I know there's an outstanding warrant for her on another less intrusive charge. This is a domestic assault. I'll issue a defendant failed to appear bench warrant bond forfeiture this time. Anything else for the record in docket 22-01896, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor.
Thanks. And did you want to do the got a final pretrial on Mr. Olson, and then we have a sentencing on Mr. Olson.
Definitely not that.
Want to do the retail fraud first?
I got to talk to him.
Okay. Yeah. Did you need to pre-sentence with them or? We're on the record and docket 22-01390. People of the state of Michigan versus Christopher Olson. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Whiskey on behalf of the people.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Olson.
Sir, you are Christopher Olson?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Wisty, it's time set for a final pretrial. How are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, we've reached a plea agreement where Mr. Olson will plead guilty to an added count 2 of retail fraud in the 3rd degree. That's MCL 750.356 D(4), 93 days and/or $500. There is also an agreement to restitution in the amount of $849 to Lowe's. And in exchange for that plea, the people will dismiss count 1.
And is that your understanding of the plea agreement, Ms. Robinson?
It is, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Olson, you understand that the maximum penalty for retail fraud 3rd is 93 days and/or $500.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And you understand that there is a restitution amount of $849 to Lowe's.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right. So I'm going to bring you, so in regards to this, this file, this misdemeanor case, you have the following rights, and I'll walk you through those rights. All right, sir? Okay, you have the right to have to be tried by a jury or a judge. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty. You have the right to have witnesses against you appear at trial, and you have the right to question those witnesses against you. You, of course, are represented by Aaron Robinson from the Public Defender's Office. She would contest any charges or cross-examine any witnesses brought against you. You'd also have the right to have the court order any witnesses to come and testify in your defense. You'd have the right to remain silent. You have the right not to have that silence used against you in a court of law, and you have the right to testify at the trial if you choose to testify. Is it your intention to waive these rights today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. If your plea is accepted, you'll give up the claim that the plea was a result of any promises or threats, that it was not your choice to plead guilty. You'd also be giving up any trial rights or appellate rights to a trial because you're not having a trial. You're pleading guilty today. I'm going to have you raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, I'm going to bring your attention back to March 23rd, 2022 at 6821 South Cedar Street, City of Lansing, Ingham County. Were you present on that date at that time?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And in regards to count 2, which is retail fraud, did you take items that were open for sale to the public on that day?
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
where did you take that from?
Lowe's.
Okay,
South Cedar.
And you did not, and your intent was not to pay for them?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything from the factual basis, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I find the factual basis to be understanding, voluntarily, and accurately made. We have restitution for $849 to Lowe's. We also have a sentencing in this case. How did you want to proceed, Mr. Wisty?
Your Honor, if I may approach with the restitution. I think in the interest of judicial economy, I believe Mr. Olson has more serious matters. People would have no objection to immediate sentencing.
And if I remember correctly, there's no probation in the sentencing file. Is that correct, Ms. Robinson?
Correct. It looks like it was just to determine restitution.
So I have restitution at $849. I'm going to refer that to collections, at this point. No objection to immediate sentencing, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor.
All right. How many days in on this case is there? Do we know?
So I think he was initially PR'd on this case, so I'm not sure that he has any
Okay.
credit here in Ingham for this. However, he has been in custody since September 29th.
He has 0 days on this, but he has been in custody.
Mhm.
All right, so in regards to immediate sentencing on this file, the count 2 retrial fraud in the 3rd degree. There is no jail credit. Although the defendant has been in sentence, I have that. I can't waive the prime victims' rights fee, but I can do some math and get you a total. And then so that's $8.99 that'll be referred to collections.
I believe it's 849, Your Honor.
It is, and then the $50 for,
Oh,
actually, and then thank you for that, because I missed the state cost fee too. So it's 849 plus 50 plus 75, so it's 974. I'm waiving fines and costs on this matter. And then I'll refer that to collections. So total amount for immediate sentencing is 75 plus 50 plus 849, which is 974 referred to collections. Restitutions to Lowe's in the amount of 849. I will not order probation, and this is referred to collections within 48 hours of release. So that's all for sentencing and plea in file 22-01390. And then we have a sentencing that we were going to do for Thursday, and you've had the opportunity. You're all right doing that now today, Ms.
I am,
Robinson?
Your Honor.
All right. This will save you a trip Thursday, Mr. Olson. This is the time set for sentencing in the matter. There is an updated report. You've had the opportunity to go over the updated report with.
I have,
Mr.
Your Honor.
Olson. All right. And any redactions, deletions, or corrections?
Not at this time.
All right. Allocution?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Olson is requesting that you just sentence him to costs and restitution in this matter. He is facing some other serious cases going on in Eaton County. He has been in custody since September 29th. Previous to going into custody, he was working and he does have a family and supports 3 children. So we would just ask that you sentence him to the restitution, allowing him to, have the space to work on his Eaton County case. Thank you.
How many days in does he have on this file, or was this also a PR file?
Also PR'd from my notes, but I didn't. On the phone, or
I had to pay a bond. I had to pay a bond on this one. It was like
Yeah.
5,000, I think.
He's got a PR 4,000 on this.
Was that given at arraignment?
That was when. 8-4, which I believe was his name. So he should have, he's actually arraigned the first time I do 7.
7.
So just a second.
And then he was a failed to appear. Did they change bond?
He had a PR of 3,000 here the first time and a 4,000 here the second time.
At the If I may, Your Honor, the only reason I missed court was I was in the hospital with COVID at the time. That's why they
It's fine, we're
re-PR'd
just
me.
trying to determine your jail credit.
It looks like he posted $100 cash bond in 7/20.
So if he was picked up on a warrant, he should have at least a day.
So he posted on July 20th.
Yes, it looks like he posted $100 for failed to appear bond, and then that bond was forfeited. So we can add to it.
So he's got at least a day credit.
Yes.
1 day credit for 1 day previously served. What's your out date in Eden County?
I don't have one yet, Your Honor. I'm still fighting 3 major felony cases out there, so it's projected MDOC time now. They have me on no bond right now, so.
This is on 2 misdemeanor NSF checks, right? So you're asking me to follow the sentence. I don't see any jail requested as a part of the updated report. Did you, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor, I just asked. that
With
you
the
look at
understanding that-
convictions with restitution.
Yeah, with the understanding. So I'll follow the recommendations. I will give you I'll give you a 1 day credit for 1 day served, since it appears that you have 1 day. So in count 1, which is guilty plea NSF, and count 2, the NSF, there is restitution of $1,087.39. So I will follow the judgment of sentence. And I'll do a little math here, just so you know. I'm gonna waive fines and costs. So it's 125 for prime victims' rights fee and state fee. That's 125 and 50, and then another 50 for the second file. So that'll be 225 plus the restitution to St. Ides Village, which is 1,078 plus the 225. For a total of $1,303.39. That'll be referred to collections. But that's the extent of that. Since you've got other cases pending and you're going to be incarcerated in Eaton County, this will finish the census as to Ingham County. So credit for 1 day served, $1,303.39 are referred to collections. So you should report to collections within 48 hours of release. And that's all for the record in regards to the sentence.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. Good luck. All right, we're on the record in docket 22-02549 and 22-02550. That's people that state of Michigan versus Shane Blood. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
And sir, you are Shane Blood?
Correct, yes,
All right. And you can hear me all right, Mr. Blood?
yes.
All right. This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, if I may briefly address Mr. Blood.
Sure.
Mr. Blood, my name is Jake Westy. I'm the Assistant Prosecuting Attorney. My offer would be to dismiss this case if you can get smoker licensed. If you have a license, we can meet in a breakout room and possibly resolve this today. Otherwise, I just ask for an adjournment for you to get the animal license. How would you like to proceed?
I do have them licensed.
I would request a breakout room.
All right. So Mr. Blood, I'm going to place you in a breakout room with the assistant prosecutor in this case, and then you can show him any paperwork you have. All right.
Sure.
All right. Oh, we don't have. Yeah, let me do that. All right, we're back on the record in dockets 22-2381 and 22-2382. Mr. West, you've had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Blood in a breakout room.
Yes, Your
How
Honor.
are we proceeding today?
Mr. Blood has shown me proof that he is now in compliance with the animal control statute. For that reason, the people will be dismissing both counts.
All right, Mr. Blood, it's my understanding that the people are moving to dismiss both files for after meeting with you for purposes of compliance. Do you have any questions of me, Mr. Blood?
I do not.
All right, these will be dismissed without prejudice, which means that they could bring them back if they have additional evidence, but it appears today, and it does appear that both these files are dismissed for today's purpose. Anything else for the record, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Mr. Blood?
No.
All right, you're free to leave. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you very much.
You know what happened to the middle chair? You got, okay. You need it? No, I was wondering.
Sir, you are Jerry Braddock?
Yes, sir.
All right, and who's representing Mr. Braddock? You are? Are you ready to go, Mr. Braddock? All right. Right, we're on the record in docket 22-02381 and 22-0233282. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Mr. Braddock, who's joining us via Zoom.
And sir, you are Jerry Braddock?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you can hear me all right, Mr. Braddock?
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you. Mr. Wisty, this is a time set for a pre-trial on Mr. Braddock. How are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, we'd like to request a second pretrial be set in approximately 2 weeks. Defense counsel has informed me that the defendant may be able to provide documentation showing he didn't know the animals involved here. If I receive that documentation, I would file a dismissal. And I've reviewed it to my satisfaction.
Okay.
You want this? You busy?
And that's your understanding, Ms. Sutter, that you seek an adjournment of approximately a couple of weeks in order to indicate if Mr. Braddock's the actual owner
Correct.
of the animal?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's set it for a second. All right, so we have a new date in order to seek some information and discovery purposes in the matter. It's set for November 7th at 10 a.m. Anything else for the record, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Braddock, please keep in contact with your attorney, Lauren Sutter. We've reset this for November 7th at 10 a.m. Okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else for the record, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor.
All right, that's all for the record in these two files.
Thank you. You're all set to log off, Mr. Braddock.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
No problem.
I forget, if I don't see you over the computer, I forget that they're,
Three of them, 'cause it'll stack.
all right, so we're on the docket in 22-00687, people of the state of Michigan versus Jonathan Baugh. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Westy on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Joseph Yang on behalf of Mr. Ball, who is president to my right.
Morning, Your Honor.
And sir, you are Jonathan Baugh today.
That's correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Wisty, this is the time set for sentencing. Is there any restitution in this file?
No, Your Honor, the people are comfortable with the recommendation.
All right. Mr. Yang, you've seen the pre-sentence report and been able to go through it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, we reviewed that and there are no additions, corrections, or deletions.
Allocution?
Thank you, Your Honor. Based on my calculations, Mr. Ball should have credit for this case about 63 days. It's based on my calculations. He's actually been in custody prior to the plea, which bond was revoked for about 81 days. I would ask that you sentence him to time served. He is currently housed at Eaton County until January. And he currently does have trustee status. He possibly could get work release. The reason I'm asking for just time served and the minimal fines and costs is so that if he does get work release, this sentence doesn't hold him up and he can do that if Eaton County allows him for that. Like I said, he's on trustee and he's a road trustee, so it's not even in-house, it's outside of the jail doing parks and rec type stuff. So the fact that he's doing that just shows to his rehabilitation and that the jail is comfortable with him being not doing parks and rec and possibly even work release. So at this time, I'd ask just time served, the minimal fines and costs, and allow him to finish out his Eaton County. Like I said, his outlays not till January there. Anyways. Thank
Do you have a date for his out date in January?
Your Honor, I can give that. January 12th, Your Honor.
Wendy, what do you have as credit? Yeah. No. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
When was he in this?
He was arraigned in this file on March 25th, 2022. And then but then I've got a failed to appear on April 4th. And then I've got an arraignment with the stamp on April 8th. I think that's when he was arraigned on April 8th. I just want to make sure the credit is correct.
He got a PR behind on April 8th, so he wouldn't have had credit on this. I can see. I showed his PR behind that.
I do. I don't know. I don't know that I have him for any credit in this, Mr. Yang.
Your Honor, on the day of the plea, his bond was revoked. That was August 22nd.
August 22nd.
Right. That was the day of the plea and bond was revoked at that time. So, like I said, at a minimum, he should have 63 days due to that. He did get picked up and spend like a day or two here or there, but I wasn't able to confirm those dates. And so, like I said, if Your Honor is willing to do 63 days credit, just give him fines and costs and close out the file, that would be my request. So for sure, 63 days, it might be 2 or 3 days more, but I wasn't able to confirm those dates. So.
Yeah, I don't have in my notes that I revoked his bond.
Nothing in the computer.
Yeah.
Paperwork.
Oh, any time to be concurrently pending. I did write that down. Because we knew he was in Eaton County, so I did. At that time, you're right. Okay.
On the date of plea,
Right.
bond was revoked. So
Right.
like I said, at a minimum 63 days, but
So you've been incarcerated since August 22nd, which is how you're calculating that.
Correct, on this file since August, so he's been in Eaton County since August 4th, I believe,
Right.
but he didn't start getting credit on this until August 22nd, which is the date of the plea, so.
Right. Good. I'm good with fine. So I'm, we'll do 250 fine, 250 costs, crime victims' rights fee of $75. The request is to spend 93 days in jail beginning October 3rd. I'm gonna change that to 63 days in jail with credit for 63 days previously served. So that'll be the 2 months credit for the time that he's served since the guilty plea. And then the fines and costs for probation, I don't have a restitution, will be $575 in all. So that'll be the total will be $250 fines, $250 costs, crime victims' rights fee of $75 for a total of $575. There's no restitution in the file. Anything else for the record on Mr. Boss? So you're to report, I'm going to refer it to collections, the amount, $575. When you're released from Eaton County, you should contact City of Lansing Collections Department to set up some kind of plan on that, okay? All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else for the record, Mr. Yang?
Nothing further, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ball. Good luck to you, okay?
Appreciate it, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thanks. the record in docket 21-00042. People of the state of Michigan versus Devonta have Hanishak. All right, you can come over here, sir, and stand up. All right, right there, just next to your
You
lawyer.
can come stand right here.
All right.
There you go.
And will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Hannasat.
And sir, say your name again.
Devonta Hainsack.
Devontae Hanishak.
Hainsack.
Hanishak.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Nope, you're fine. Just want to make sure I pronounce it right. Devontae Hanishak.
Hannasat.
Yeah, it's Hainsack. Yeah,
Hanishak.
yeah, Hainsack.
All right, Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, we request an adjournment for this to correspond with Mr. Henishek's prelim on another file currently set for November 10th at 9 a.m. I believe. Reason for that is this is an older file. It's tied to the circuit court plea agreement. And I think myself and I believe also the defense attorney have inherited this and need some time to sort out exactly what was meant to happen.
Ms. Robinson, is that your understanding?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor. And then we would ask that you, on this case, that you would set his bond on like a low cash surety amount. So that he can start earning credit.
What bond's he on right now?
He's serving a probation violation sentence
Okay. And when's the out date on that? Do we
in
know?
March.
What's that?
In March.
In March? And what's the bond set at now? 2,500, 10%? I think that's what I have at 2,500, 10%.
That's what I have too, but usually they convert to PR bonds after like 7 days. So if it hasn't converted, that's fine because then he's earning credit, but
Right. I guess let's find that out. And this case is at 278 days, but I know it's an older case. And I think we lost,
Yeah, the bond will be converted, on the 17th of September, July.
okay, so it has been converted. Converted on September 17th. So the defendant's, as of December 17th, he's acquiring credit on this case.
you mean he's not? Because if it converted to a PR bond.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying.
Right, so
Yeah.
he's had 7 days credit,
So
so
let's-
it's converted
so,
to like a
yeah,
cash surety bond right
so-
now.
So let's put it at, so I'll do that at the end.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll set it at low cash bond so he starts getting credit on this. Let's set it for, it's been set for jury trial on October 26th. No, that's a year ago. Yeah,
Your Honor, it may help if we can meet in chambers to discuss this matter. It's a lot of moving parts here.
yeah. Let's get it. We'll get a date and we can talk off the record. Okay, how far out of date are you looking for on this?
And we're looking for November 10th, and that's simply because we only have to brought over once. 'Cause the
Okay.
other doesn't matter that.
So what's our November 10th? look like?
yeah, November 10th at 9 a.m.
Oh, it's a felony day. I don't even think I'm here November 10th. Am I?
Well, that's when his felony prelim is set for. And
Yeah,
so I just
prelim.
figured we could set both files for the same
Oh,
time.
I am here
You're here.
on the 10th.
Um,
Let's set it for that day. Yeah. You want to set it for a final pretrial on that day,
Final pretrial
or-
plea, whatever. Yeah.
or set it for plea on that day?
Mhm. I think the understanding is that it will get resolved that day.
With us. So where do you get the information that he's scheduled for a prelim on November?
On the felony case.
November 10th at 9 a.m. with Judge Court.
Judge
Ward?
Ward.
Okay. So let's bring him one time. You're right. You're right. That's absolutely right. So let's set it for, and that's our prelim day.
It's on a prelim day.
All right. Let's set a plea on that day then.
How about we do 10:30? That should give them enough time to take care of.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So you'll have the prelim examination of Judge Ward in this file, and we can wrap it all up. November 10th. And then I'll set bond on this case at $1,000, 10%. So that you can start acquiring credit.
Sure,
on
can you,
this.
can you make sure you put not to PR until 11:10, just to make sure that he gets credit for all the time that he's in.
I can, or I can just, I gotta
It
set
has
some
to be
bond.
21. I don't know that it can be more than 21. Maybe 28 days because it's a domestic. So you can say no PR for 28 days.
So no PR for 28 days.
They don't make it specific.
I already earned other credit for my other.
Yes. Well, no, we're just trying to give
Just,
them those
I'm just trying to make sure you get credit for being in on this file.
No, yeah, I was about to say, cause I earned credit for my other, for the ones that they revoked, I already earned credit for that.
All right, okay,
Now I'm just trying to earn credit for this.
right. All right, so we'll reset for November 10th, 2022. To be, and I'll just make a note for myself. Resolve. Okay. Judge report. All right, anything else for the record, Mr. Wisty, on file 21-00042?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir, we'll see you back here on November 10th, 2022 at 10:30, okay? All right, thank you. Well, we're waiting on Phillips. Did you want to call Dezez?
Sure.
Yeah, might as well. So we're on the record in docket 22-02214 and 22-02215. People of the State of Michigan versus Ty Dezez. This is set for 8:30. It is now 10:37. Appearances for the record, please.
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Doucette.
And as previously indicated, the time set for a final pretrial in the matter. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, I'd request a bench warrant.
I think this would be his first failure to appear, Your
I
Honor, so
think-
I would just request a 48 hour.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, I think, and we previously discussed this a little bit. Yeah, he's made every pretrial up until today, and this was adjourned for an understanding between the parties. So and this is unlicensed dog, so we'll put a 48-hour hold on the bench board. Mr. Dezez, I remember he's made every previous pretrial. So we'll put a 48-hour hold. Anything else for the record in docket 22-02215 or 22-02214?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. That's all for the record. And the price of the items was over $200. Okay, but under 1,000. All right. Any questions on the factual basis, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Robinson, on the factual?
No, Your
basis?
Honor.
I find the factual basis to be knowing, voluntarily, and understanding and accurately made. I'm going to refer to probation or have probation talk to the defendant.
Your Honor, would you actually be amenable to immediate sentencing? It looks like she does have 7 days credit for this, and she is being held no bond in Eaton County. So-
I generally would be, but there's 3 files that should be looked at. Mr. Wisty, what's your response?
People do believe that probation report.
I think I'd like to see some history for pre-sentence before I sentence you on this matter. The agreement is just to see any background concerning this event. Okay, I'm gonna have probation come and talk to you. They'll prepare a sentence report for me, and that'll give me some idea and some options of what we can do for you at sentencing. Okay, ma'am?
Okay.
So just be as candid as possible with them, all right? So I'm gonna refer to probation. And you are incarcerated, so I'll have probation contact. And we'll set the sentence date for
December 12th at 1:30.
December 12th at 1:30. No, not December 12th at 1:30?
No.
All right.
Just a second. Monday, December 5th at 1:30.
Monday, December 5th at 1:30.
So, Your Honor, knowing that she's in custody in Eaton County, I know that she has PR bonds on these cases. I'm sort of hesitant to ask that her, like you set a bond in this case so that she doesn't screw anything up over in Eaton County. But I would, I guess, maybe see if the court would be amenable to possibly asking for a time served with the understanding that she would be. Like if she would get credit for the time that she's in right now. Does that make sense?
Right.
I'm not asking for
on
a
PR
promise of a sentence today. I
Right.
guess I'm just asking that, like, if we were not to change the bond today, that she would get credit for it between now and the time that she's sentenced.
So how about if I'll make a note that she's in custody as of today's date
Thank you, Your Honor.
for our informal purposes.
Does she have an update?
Does she have an out date in Eaton County?
She doesn't.
She
She's being
doesn't.
held no bond.
All right, so that's date of plea. All right, anything else for the file, Mr. Wisty?
Yes, Your Honor, if I may approach. All right, I got this.
That's the restitution.
Yes, and also. the note.
All right, so I'll place the restitution in this file. And then this is on 8486, I'll sign. And then on 398, I'll sign. 3098, I'll sign. All right, Ms. Phillips, we'll see you back here on court for sentencing on December 5th at 1:30, okay, ma'am? All right, that's all for the record in those 3 files. And I think that's it for the morning.
That's it. See you this afternoon.
See you this afternoon. So, you,
You're on the probation violation.
I don't have any attorney on back. Who's on, is there anybody on Austin for the probation sentencing? That's yourself? Okay. And then we don't have anybody on Callahan through your office,
Not that I can see. No.
but Crenshaw, yes.
Yes.
All right, all right. Do you want Mr. Ledesma here at 1:30 so you can talk to him, or?
If he's going to, I'll be honest with you, I haven't had, I know I haven't been able to have any contact with Mr. Crenshaw, so if we were to actually test the hearing, I don't think that could happen.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll have Mr. Ledesma come
I
in,
already emailed him.
so he'll be all set. All right, just to give you somebody to talk to at that time.
Fair enough, thanks.
All right, we'll see everybody at 1 o'clock.
Thank you, see you, brother.